Welcome back to our yearly upload of top 10 music video effects of the year. This is based on my experience of watching these music videos day in, day out to provide content on this channel to teach you guys new things. I love making these because not only does it give you an overview of some really cool effects you can use in your own videos, but it's also a reflection of how the visual space, the music video space has evolved. So let's get right into it. As always, if you enjoy, slap a like on the video, comment down below whatever you'd like to see next, and subscribe to join the community. By the way, if you're looking for any plugins, presets, extensions to save you time and create cool effects, my digital asset store is at the top of the description. Number one is going to be smooth motion effects. It's been amazing to see how people have been able to utilize motion blur, keyframes, and camera movements in After Effects to create some really unique stuff. To put it in perspective, a few years ago, everyone was making freeze frame effects inspired by those AUG videos. Now look at what this has turned into. I love this because of the flexibility. You can create transitions. You can control the camera in your scene. It's a great way to match the flow of the song that you're trying to create a video for. And of course, if you want to learn this or any of the other things I'm about to talk about, I'm going to leave a bunch of tutorials I made covering smooth motion in the description below. Number two is the RotoBrush tool. Arguably the best update to After Effects in years. The RotoBrush tool lets us mask things out faster than ever before. Due to this, I've been seeing people use the RotoBrush tool a lot more in their work. Once you have your subject masked out, there's unlimited possibilities for creating cool effects. Being able to separate the foreground and background layers lets you manipulate the scene and apply different effects to each. People use this as more of a beginning step for a lot of the other techniques I'm going to show you in this video, but nonetheless, it's worthy of being talked about because of how useful it really is. Number three is 3D. This is something I've been preaching for years now. As technology evolves in our space, we're finally starting to see all these powerful softwares in the hands of indie studios or hobbyist creators. Before, it was only possible to create a lot of this stuff by teams of visual effects artists working in Hollywood. Now, a lot of this can be accomplished by people at home by themselves, and a lot of the times for free or low cost. 3D allows you to take whatever vision you have in your head and bring it to life visually. You're not limited by the tools available in other editing softwares. You can create full 3D scenes from scratch, composite your footage into 3D environments, augment your scene with 3D elements, and much, much more. I think 3D will only continue to grow in popularity, so I highly recommend you guys check out some different 3D softwares or try and incorporate some 3D thing into your workflows. It's really nice to see a bunch of different tutorial YouTubers start throwing some 3D tuts in there as they see that interest rise, myself included, so you can use that new content to help yourself get started and to learn some really amazing skills. Number four, AI tools, and this is something that's new to our list and for good reason. I think one of the key things that can bring shock factor to a video is by making it look unique. Sometimes to do that, you need to utilize tools that allow you to do something that traditional editing or 3D softwares can't. That's where AI comes in. I've talked a bunch about EB Synth for style transferring from one clip to the other. Recently, I talked about some of the newer AI tools to create this amazing artwork where you can just type in a prompt and it generates something. I made a video talking about using that and then animating it in After Effects to create quick little visualizers. It's really amazing to see what's going on here. From a creative aspect, it intrigues me to see all this new stuff coming out, but also from a utility aspect, we're already benefiting from the power of AI and the tools we're using every day. Things like neural filters in Photoshop. I know NVIDIA has a bunch of useful tools for making your audio sound better or for video recording. And I know that AI is being used to speed up a lot of our workflows. So AI is definitely something you should pay attention to because it is 100% influencing the space and the trends that I'm seeing as time goes on. Number five, blur speed effects. This is something I've noticed used a lot in Lil Durk music videos, a lot of the A$AP Rocky music videos that dropped this year. It's a pretty easy technique to do in Premiere to add more flow to your videos, especially with high energy songs. A couple of years ago, there was tons of speed ramping tutorials and people utilized that to really create this seamless flow in their videos and add tons of speed. It looked really great, and I think that these blur speed effects are an easy way to kind of complement that. Of course, like everything else we've been mentioning, if you want to learn how to do this stuff, full tutorials down below. Number six is distortion visual effects. Trippy distortion effects have always been popular in music videos, no matter what genre. Whether you're creating entire psychedelic visuals or you're just adding a disorienting scene to complement the tone or to really visually display how the artist is feeling or the mood that you want to get across to the viewer, it's amazing to see how these distortion effects have really evolved in our edits. Data moshing was huge a couple of years ago. Now we're seeing people like Cochise, I think his name's pronounced. One of you guys commented recently and told me to check him out, and I definitely did. In my opinion, his videos are the definition of how crazy you really can get when you start messing around with distortion and mixing together all those other tools like the RotoBrush tools, smooth motion, all together into this one crazy mashup. Let me know if you want to see a tutorial on some of those Cochise distortion effects, or in the meantime, check out the hundreds of other tutorials I made talking about distortion in the past. Number 7 is presets. Pretty self-explanatory. You pay money and in return, you save time and have a bunch of little preset tools that you can drag and drop in your project whenever you want. Instead of having to go in and hand animate a zoom or this and that or some sort of flashy thing, you can just click and it's there. Now, I do want to say here, and I think this is super important, you shouldn't only rely on presets. Presets, templates, things like that, they're all tools. If you don't have practice with editing to the music, if you don't have practice with making your visual flow to the mood, the tone of the song, or if you're not familiar with a lot of the other steps, techniques, the things that really go into these presets, then there's a good chance no matter how many presets you own, your music video, your visual may not look that good. So I recommend you pay attention to the fundamentals and you use them, or you combine and experiment with them where appropriate. I think a great example of this is this Youngin Ace example. I love the fast-paced motion, and you can definitely create an edit like this much faster just by using presets instead of having to go in and animate all this craziness by hand. They help you amplify the video. And a quick plug, if you like the style that you see in this video, all these crazy fast motion transitions, then you should check out my Speed Demon 2 preset pack or any of the other preset packs on my website. Number 8 is the After Effects camera. You can use this to create a multitude of different things. Now, whenever I talked about smooth motion, I mentioned the After Effects camera, using it to swivel, pan around, adding in that motion blur to really control the camera movement that's going on in your scene. You could have a completely flat scene shot on a tripod. You can use that After Effects camera, add the motion blur, and make it seem like it's handheld or like you're zooming and panning into different things. Super useful. Not only that, there's tons of other ways where you can use it. Recently, I made a tutorial where I masked out different parts of an image. I separated those layers in 3D space, and then we used an After Effects camera to sort of zoom in or fly through these different parts, creating this sort of illusion. I thought this looked really cool. Not only that, you can track your scenes, you can create a 3D camera, and with that 3D camera information, you can composite in different 3D elements, whether you're using After Effects to do that, or you're combining workflows by working with After Effects and a different 3D software and achieving some really cool looks. Number 9 is going to be motion track lock effects. Now, the first time I saw this in a music video was in that Travis Scott Drake Sicko Mode video that came out a few years back. I've seen a resurgence of this effect being used in different ways this year with a lot of the things that A$AP Rocky put out. I've seen track locking used in transitions where you lock onto something, you zoom and you can rotate, all the while keeping that thing stabilized in the center of your scene. We just saw that DMB music video come out where they use track locking to create different collages, animate the collage so that you're always keeping a face in the center. I thought that was a really awesome animation and a really awesome way to utilize tracking. Number 10 is overlays, and I think this has been in every one of my top 10 effects to use video so far because they're so useful. Here's a great example of a visual just black and white, just using a few overlay clips like some film grain or maybe a couple of like the ink splatters just to add a cool little background effect. It's clean, it's simple, it's easy, it doesn't take that much effort. Just drag it into your scene and you're done. You can create a lot of these assets yourself in After Effects and save them for use whenever you want them. Just drop them in an asset folder. Or you can even take these overlay clips by messing around with the blending modes or even using something like a track matte effect in Premiere or After Effects to make all these crazy texture projections in different styles. So that's about it, guys. 10 different effects you guys can use for your music videos, 2022 edition. 2022 isn't over yet. There's still another 5 months to go. So I'm excited to see if we see anything new creep into this list. Like I said at the beginning, I love being able to look at this list and then watch all my old top 10 of the years and just see how things have really changed. It's amazing, and it's all due to you guys out there taking a lot of the techniques that are used that I'm talking about here, experimenting with them, really having a vision for something you want to create that's new, that's unique, bending the rules and changing the space. That's what's creating this spark of change, and that's how things continue to evolve and evolve. A lot of people out there, they say, oh, this is overused, this is overused. Whenever something's overused, people will change it. Whenever someone changes it, people will use it. It's inevitable, but that's just the way things are. So I think you should take what's in this list, you should pay attention to what you like, you should mess around with it, have fun. So if you did enjoy, slap a like on the video. It means a huge amount to me. Again, if you saw anything in this list that you want to hear more about, comment down below and let me know what. Other than that, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for supporting, and I'll see you guys in the next one.